it sounds really weird, but I abandoned my muffins. Power outage number 3 this week. Yay! Round 2 for Wednesday, number 4 for this week. Hopefully that's it for the day. I realized till the power came back on when it went back off for the second time today. So I'm watching The Flash, and the power went off while I was watching The Flash season 1 episode 7 named Power Outage. So I think that's kind of funny. It's just coincidental, but still. Anyhow, I just added frozen fruit coated in some flour and a bit of sugar, and I put them in some greased and floured cake pans as kind of a thinner layer, but I had to add a heck of a lot of moisture even before I could add any fruit to them, because the batter, it was not batter. So this recipe, it comes from a book that 20 years ago, it made about 4 times as big of a recipe, and the recipes were really, really easy, and they were easy to modify. You could switch out eggs with flax eggs, you could switch out one milk with another, and you could switch out fillings with one filling with another really, really easily. And they had multiple muffin recipes in their book. However, in the last couple years, they took out a lot of recipes. They added recipes that are useless, and they switched out a couple muffin recipes with one muffin recipe. I think assuming that you can use one muffin recipe for everything, but the muffin recipe, it uses, the main recipe is made with buttermilk, and it has a bunch of weird things in it that it's not a good recipe to use to work off of and to switch out ingredients with. And just as you're going through it, you know, you'll start reading the ingredients, and you'll get down to flour, and you know, you'll be reading, you know, a 1/4 cup of sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and then it'll say flour. It won't tell you how much flour. You have to go to a different part of the page to find the amount of flour. And sure, it'll give you a bunch of different options for the flour, or a bunch of different options for the liquid. And it doesn't matter if you follow the recipe to the T with the buttermilk and with everything else, or if you make adjustments following their guidelines, or if you make adjustments outside of their guidelines. If you follow the rules on the page and the guidelines on the page, it turns out with a dough that is similar to making bread as opposed to muffins, and you have to add about another cup's worth of liquid, minimum, just to get it to a workable state. So I'm fairly upset with that. When I was little, muffins were super, super easy. You used to be able to just turn them out, and then they'd be ready to take to school or bring anywhere, and just, it was the easiest recipe in the book besides lemon squares. And anyone who's made lemon squares, you know how easy they are. So anyhow, but Better Homes New Cookbook 2017. You suck. The lighting is terrible, but this is our muffin cake. There is our multi-berry jam filling, almost no added sugar in it. 1/4 cup granulated sugar with molasses as a substitute for brown sugar. And 1½ teaspoons baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. Dash of salt. combine dry ingredients with 2 cups of flour. 3/4 of a cup of milk. We're using unsweetened vanilla almond. 2 tablespoons of oil or a melted fat. We're using vegan basil. 4 tablespoons of ground flax seeds, followed by a 1/2 cup of water. You have to let it sit. And that is the first slice of our fruit-filled muffin cake. Hopefully you can see something. And there we go. Looks pretty good to me. A little bit messy though. It's the end of the day and I'm about to go to bed. I'm pretty worn down. Apparently the muffin thing was pretty good, but I'm personally probably not going to have any. It's just a lot of bread and sugar for my body to handle. I just wanted to do muffins. Didn't work out quite the way I wanted, so I made the best of it. But I did find the recipe from the cookbook that I was using. That's like 20 years old or so. So next time I'll be using that recipe because I know that it works really well with a flax egg and almond milk adaptation. So that's pretty much it for the day. And I've pretty much been throwing up all night, so hopefully tomorrow is a little bit less acidic. Anyhow, I guess see you tomorrow. Bye.